24 hours later, all my lymph nodes swelled up on my neck. They finally diagnosed me with lymphoblastic lymphoma stage 4 and gave me like potentially a year to live.
Mike Swick!
I mean, that fight meant everything, and I knew it. Got on the show, and then I lost on the show. It never hit me like I lost. I just had to come back and show people that I didn't lose.
It's all over!
This is inspiration for everybody out there. Don't ever give up. That motivation really triggered me because I knew I wasn't as bad as I was looking. This is where I get started. That's where my motivation comes in. That's where the fire gets lit. And I'm like, really? I have no cancer in my family. I've been healthy my whole life. I'm an athlete. Like, if I was starved to death, would I die first or would the cancer die? That's the big question.
That's a question.
Going deep. I had to spend the last week of the hospital after 3 weeks of all this hell because I look so bad. I feel so bad.
Any time through that period, Mike, that you thought you were probably going to die?
The whole time.
Welcome to the Little Fish Podcast, bringing you extraordinary stories to inspire big moves. If you're planning a knockdown rebuild, dual occupancy, or townhouse project, don't risk getting it wrong. At Little Fish, we manage the entire process. We get it done faster, cheaper, and stress-free. Scan the QR code or visit littlefishproperty.com.au. Links in the description. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Australia's #1 podcast. We are the Little Fish. We speak to the big fish about town each and every week. Man, we're in paradise here.
Mate, we're in the jungle.
How's
Paradise
this
in the
sanctuary
jungle.
we're in, mate? Super excited to get into it today, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. It's going to be a massive 2025. Let's go. Mike, thanks for joining us, mate.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me, and thanks for coming.
Mate, how's this place? Like, I got here a week ago, and you cruise around, and it's Thailand's Thailand. We get that. You come here, man, and could be anywhere.
Yeah, this is inside my crazy brain. You know, being a fighter, I just, I wanted to build a fight gym, but just do it different. Yeah, everybody does things the way everybody does things, and then they're just everybody, right? So I've always done things opposite. I don't listen to people. I don't follow borders. I don't have dead ends and no's and stuff like that. So I've always done things differently, and I've always been the strange kid that had crazy ideas. And so now when I wanted to build a fight gym, I had to do it different. And I came to Thailand for 20 years training. I never saw a gym that I was happy with. And not only for myself as a fighter, but definitely I wanted to open the doors for everybody as well to experience his training. But yeah, none of them looked like Thailand.
Yeah.
So I needed to build a gym where you fly across the world to train at, and you really feel like you're in Thailand. So I built basically AKA Thailand to be in the jungle and built the jungle. And then, as you see.
Well, that's the crazy part, right? There's jungle up behind here. You were at the bottom of a mountain, but you bought the jungle. This didn't exist.
There was 5 trees, dirt and 5 trees. We excavated everything except 5 trees. And then everything else has been bought. So all these plants you see here, all around this entire huge 4-rai property is bought and from all different parts of Thailand. So you'll never see a jungle like this again.
Mike? How many trees? Hundreds?
Over 1,500 in the main part, and I just did over 1,400 including the bamboo for the new poolside that I just built.
And you can feel it, man. You know what I mean? You can feel it as soon as you get in here. It sort of wraps
and the
you
oxygen's
up.
from the source. I mean, like, it's not like a gym on a road like all these other gyms here in Thailand.
Yeah,
where
true.
it's like,
That's
why'd you come
probably
to
what I'm
Thailand
thinking.
and
That's
breathe
right.
exhaust? You know, like this is pure from the source. Palm trees, you know, like.
Yep.
No cars,
love it, Mike.
no noise. It's just peace. This is
Man.
the smacking of the pads.
Other than just smacking of pads.
Yeah.
But Mike, mate, we'll definitely dive into the gym, how it come about, all that sort of stuff. Can we take it back to the start of your career, which I know Benny's super keen to get into, like, you know,
Before tough,
30 years ago, you know, like
A long time.
long time, and I don't know, like Benny's our UFC guy, but UFC's amazingly massive. But back when you started with that tough series and that sort of stuff, like, sounded like it was smaller, man. So, like, how did that come about? How did you get on there? How did you get identified? And then how did it blow up like it did?
I was fighting in the small circuits around Texas and South America, or southern parts of America, since 1996, 1997. And I had like 22 amateur fights. I was like 21-1 amateur. And I turned pro, started fighting in the small shows. Then I got in the WEC and was making my way up to the WEC, and I fought actually Chris Lieben in the championship.
That's
and
right.
so Dana came to like scout me in that fight, and I lost. So I lost that fight in front of Dana, front row, and then Dana announced he's going to do the Ultimate Fighter, and I'm like, shit.
Oh, that
Can we
sucks.
cuss on this podcast? So I was like, shit, and then So that rules me out of that. And so I didn't apply for Ultimate Fighter, and they cast pretty much a whole season. And then they just kept asking our gym why we haven't applied. And I'm like, well, because I just got the shit kicked out of me in front of Dana. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not high on the list, you know. And so, yeah, he's like, no, send your video in. And then I did. And then I went and talked to the guys, Craig and Dana and all them. And they liked me, and they said, we have a spot at 205. Can you do that? And I was like, I'll do heavyweight. Like, if you still take me after that.
You were welterweight, were you?
I was a welterweight.
Yeah.
I was a middleweight at that time, but I was a small middleweight. And then they had middleweights already casted, and they had one opening for light heavyweight. So I took it, got on the show, and then I lost on the show. So now Dana's just thinking, like, I'm just a big loser, right? So this is inspiration for everybody out there. Like, don't ever give up, because that motivation really triggered me, because I knew I wasn't as bad as I was looking. You know, that was the only 2 losses in my life. Well, 3 losses in my life, one was amateur. And I had been crushing people other than that. And so I was just like, this is not me. And then somehow 2 losses got me into the UFC. And then I went on a 5-fight win streak. My first 2 fights was 20 seconds, 22 seconds.
And that's when you got quit. That's when you got
2 minutes.
the nickname, yeah?
My first 4 fights were 5 minutes combined.
Yep.
So if anything tells you how bad I wanted that UFC contract, it's those first 4 fights. And then I find myself fighting. The 4th fight was Joe Riggs after he fought Nick Diaz. And then I had the number 1 contender fight with David Loaza, who had just fought for the title, beat him. And here I am now 5-0 in the UFC after 2 losses, getting in as number 1 contender to fight Anderson Silva. I opted not to take the fight sooner, because Travis Lutter jumped ahead of me for the show. And so instead of waiting, I took a fight with Yushin Okami in Texas, because it was where I'm from. It was the first big stadium fight in Texas. I was in the underground fights there before.
Yeah, right.
And I fought this guy, Yushin Okami, who was it was a tough fight, back and forth, and went down to the last minute, and he caught me a decision. And so then that was the end of my reign at middleweight, and then
but you were
I dropped
there,
down
man.
to my natural 170 at that time.
Yeah, because you were right fucking there. And it's, like you said, for the context of people playing along at home, you were the number 1 contender. If you had waited, you would have been
Anderson. But I would have had to wait, and I wanted to fight, and I was like, if I can beat Anderson, I could definitely beat Yushin Okami, you know.
Yeah.
And Yushin was just a complete worst style for me. Anderson and I would have been knockout for sure. And now looking back, you know, because I didn't know Anderson
was going to be what he was going to be.
It would have probably been me going down, you know what I'm saying? I'll be honest. But it would have been cool, right? I don't mind going out on my shield. And it would have been a better fight than Yushin for sure, because he just was like a grappler and just strong.
And have Anderson on your rap sheet as well,
yeah.
with Diaz as well.
But it was my good opportunity to drop down to a better weight for me, which was 170. And then again, I went on a tear back to number 1 contendership. And then won 4 or 5 in a row again, and then got to Dan Hardy. And then Dan Hardy and I was fighting for GSP. So then that was the title fight in Manchester.
And Dan Hardy ended up fighting GSP.
So here I am in my second chance to fight for the title at a new weight class, you know, and I ended up losing the decision to Dan Hardy. So apparently I can't win those contention fights. The decision to Dan Hardy, and it was in Manchester, and I had never felt so just insulted in my life. Like, go fight in England against the guy from there.
Yeah.
And my cap was stolen I was robbed on the way to the ring. They stole my cap. They're screaming at me. I remember standing back when they opened the curtains, and the guy's like, F you. And I'm 9-1 in the UFC, you know, at this time. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, F, and I just got cussed the whole way to the ring. So I was just depleted by the time I got in the ring. Like, damn, do I deserve to even be here? Like, these guys, I'm going to kill this guy just to show these people. And then Dan's jumping up and down, full energy. And you know, I don't make excuses for the week and what happened, but it wasn't my best performance. Let's just put it that way. And he won a decision, and then I lost my fight with GSP. He went on, had a great fight with GSP. It was a long decision, but he lost as well. And then, and then I was just building the gym in Thailand back and forth. And once you start, you know, that next stage, you can't really, you know, you got to be 100% all in. And I was never fighting for fighting. Like, that was never a career. It was always, like Dana said, a stepping stone for me. And that was when I had to start putting things in action. I had to start coming to Thailand. I had to start, you know, breaking ground. I had to start preparing for the second part of my life. And that cost me to lose a few fights. And it was back and forth. And then the DeMarcus Johnson fight on UFC on Fox 4 was the big one in Staples Center, where I got the huge knockout, stole the show, got the nice bonus. And that's kind of the reason I had the start that I did with AKA Thailand. If I didn't win that fight, this gym wouldn't have started when it did, and probably be where it is today. I mean, that fight meant everything, and I knew it. And that pressure was there, and I had 910 days off before that from an injury. So
it was 2 years off. So it was
3 years off.
It was 3,
And then coming back to that fight, and it was like Fox, so it was like a whole new level.
Yep.
And then here I was 3 years ago, no fights, and then that level that I was at before, and I was fighting this real like just total like just scrapper, DeMarcus Johnson, big, tall, lanky, good on the ground, good on the feet, everything. Almost knocked him out in the first, came back in the second and got me on the ground, pounded me out, cut me all up, ended up winning the first round. So here I am like, how am I going to build this gym in Thailand? I got to win this fight. So I said, I'm just going to smile at him. And then he smiled back. And then I'm like, okay, that's it. Let's go. And then like I waited for that opportunity, and I just swung for the cheap seats and grabbed his leg, pushed him, put him out, knockout of the night, and the rest is history.
Got the bonus.
Yeah.
It's all meant to happen. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
it was meant
man.
to happen, mate.
It was just all or
sliding doors
nothing. It had to go that way, yeah.
Mark, can I ask, when was the moment you decided to build the gym? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you said you were training in Thailand years ago. Were you training at Tiger Muay Thai? Is that where you were training out of?
No, the thing is, I started at that place I was the first UFC fighter to do a seminar there.
At Tiger, yep.
Yeah, so I was the first UFC fighter to do a seminar there, and they were just like, you want to do a seminar? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm on vacation, though. I'm not here to train.
Yep.
I was just kind of like, before fights, I would come here and train Muay Thai and like do privates and stuff at different gyms and stuff like that. But at that time, I was more so after my UFC fights coming in, just taking a vacation, doing a little bit of training, and then Tiger just used my profile, all my pictures, and started making it out like this. They had an MMA program. They did. Ray Elby was doing the program. He was doing a good job, and they were the first to introduce kind of the MMA into a fight gym. But then when I started going, I brought in also John Fitch and Jake Shields and Bobby Southworth for my team.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, we were like the face of Tiger Muay Thai somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but we don't even do MMA there. We never did an MMA session or nothing. So that's weird, And then like they've just continued like using them fighters to like kind of build a gym, and they did what they did, but it's like they're a fight gym, and I never planned to do that anyway. My goal was always to come to paradise like this, the mecca of Muay Thai and the mecca of fight gyms, and kind of do my version of a gym. And my version of everything in life, if anyone that knows me, is completely different than everyone else. You never become different, extraordinary, or remarkable, or do anything special if it looks like something else, or if you follow somebody else, or you copy somebody else. So I built the first fight gym, luxury training resort for basically sports combat training resort for everyone.
Everyday fight camp for everyday people to come and experience.
Any person.
We're looking at a basketball court here.
Man, how's the tower? How's the tower? They race up the tower and ring the bell. They climb the rope, ring the bell.
Pools in Thailand. I mean, I build just crazy
9 foot deep pool.
Yeah, hand painted. I do crazy things, but it's like, I want to be different, and like I want to open up. For me, it's like I've watched fighters win all the time, and that's great. And there's so many fight gyms that do all that, and we do have fighters, and we do win fights. But I wanted to create the gym for everyone to be able to enjoy this experience without having to deal with like that intimidation from the fighters, that hard training from the trainers, and be able to come in and do. If we have fighters here, they train hard training for fighting. But if we have other people like Instagram, like we had earlier, some girls that were in, some friends of mine, they want to do some videos, and they're really good as well. They do different types of training for that. People want to lose weight. The customer service basically is an experience is the number one job of my team, and number two is the job I hired them for. So their job is to make everyone happy, and then if they're happy, I'm happy. And if everything else is wrong, I don't care. And apparently that was a good formula because 6 years in, we won from Thailand government the number one Muay Thai school in Thailand, and we haven't lost it since. We just got the award for 2024, so we're four years in a row best Muay Thai school in Thailand.
That is wild, given I don't need to tell you the caliber of gyms that are over here. Like
it's the mecca. So I felt if I can come here and build this differently, I can show that being different is what makes things special. Yeah. It is what makes things different, and what stands out. It grabs attention, and it also opens the door for people who are fans. These people that I'm opening the doors for are paying the bills of the fighters that are fighting at all these gyms. They should be happy this gym exists because I'm taking care of all these people that are buying the pay-per-views and that are buying the merchandise and that are supporting these fighters because they're fight fans or they're fight enthusiasts. But they're also being able to enjoy fighting. And now with the launch of our new Fight Club experience, anybody can come here and we'll get them a fight, and they can fight in a stadium, whether they're an accountant, a construction worker, a businessman, an entrepreneur, a celebrity,
going for 2-0, Mike.
They can come here and we market them, we promote them, and then we put them in a fight in Bangla Stadium, and then on our app, on the App Store or Android, you can watch the fight live, or our website, akthailand.tv, and you can watch them fight, so all their friends and family can watch them live from Thailand fight, like we broadcast every week. in a stadium. So this is all different. It's all new.
And it's all just made up it's all just cooked up laying in bed
Every
at night.
single thing here I just drew and built.
Yeah,
nothing is like anything else. Nothing was prefabricated.
I have one main question for that, Mike, right? Because this for context for people at home, this is out, like Pete said, this is out of, like, it's not that far from where everything is, but it feels like it is, right? It does feel like it's in the jungle. But my question, Mike, is most of the gyms, if not all of the gyms, are all opening around similar areas, right? Because that's where they sort of, the mass of the people go to these areas because the gyms are renowned and the juice bars. You turned it on its, again, to your point, you turned it on its head and said, well, I'm not going to open it where everyone else is opening it. I'm going to go and start my own thing.
I did the most unlogical thing ever.
Yeah.
And because people said it was impossible. People from the States, like my team, Daniel Cormier, these guys like that.
Yeah,
they're sitting me down having talks.
What are you doing,
Mike,
dude?
Why are you going? You're too smart for this. Why are you going to Thailand to build a Muay Thai gym and the mecca of Muay Thai of gyms? And you should be doing bigger things than that. And I'm like, no, I'm going to build the gym.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go try to be the best. Get the best trainers, and we have the best trainers, of course. But I'm saying, like, I'm not trying to change the way they train or change their training or be the best training or whatever else. I'm trying to show them how to build a gym that can stand out and help everyone, but also put this place on the map and also show that the way I do things differently is effective. And, coming here, the logical thing is what everyone else does because it's the easy way. Build a gym on the road so people will drive by and they see it.
Yeah.
I built a
next
gym.
to another gym because there's already people going there.
We didn't have a road here. It was a motorcycle dirt road. We didn't have electricity. We didn't have water. We didn't have nothing. I excavated to dirt. We had 5 trees, and I invested everything I had in my life on this 4 rise of land because the scenery.
Paradise.
It had the one thing that no gym had, and that's
shit.
This.
Yeah.
And so I knew if I could start here and build out, and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I complete my job, they will come.
So, Mike, that was what we want to know. Because what we know from what we've learned over the years is just because you've built it does not mean they will come.
You have to.
So how do you bridge how did you make them come? Do you know what I mean? Because you built it, but you could be sitting here with crickets because you're out here in the jungle and all the people are training over. You know what I mean? So how did you get people to know about it and to start coming?
You had to build it different. You can't do the same. No one's gonna try to find a gym that's just like the gym they're training at. It has to be special. It has to be a reason. And to be honest, it was tough in the beginning. It was stressful because I had no one to look at. It's never been done before what I was doing, so there was no one to look at and say, "Oh, how did they do it?" Or what did they do?
No manual.
I'm writing the manual, but there's nerves with that because for that first year, it was very tough getting people back here. They couldn't find it. It was so far back here, but you can't get this kind of view and this kind of experience without going back here, right? And so, I just had to build it different. I had to build it. The biggest thing was that I'm the sole director of this gym and the founder, and it's my vision, and it stays my vision. My whole staff, 56 people on site, they know it's my vision, so it's like a piece of art, So I can't really be wrong because there's nothing to compare it to, but you can like it or not like it, but you have to respect the fact that it is my vision one way or another. And then it's also open to the public, so it's open to anyone and built for everyone to that level. So I knew that would be one thing that would definitely separate it because they don't want to go to the other gyms with the fighters. They want to go somewhere where I didn't have to prove our curriculum already. So if I was to build this from scratch as just a fighter with a random team, I would have to prove to regular people and not regular, but your average working class people.
Fight fans.
I'd have to prove to them, oh, you can train here and still get that same level of training as you can with the other UFC fighters. I didn't have to do that because my team is one of the best teams in the world. This curriculum here didn't have to be proven. So AKA has built the most stars and the most champions from the ground up than any team in the world. Islam just won last night.
Yeah.
So he's pound for pound greatest in the world. Khabib was arguably one of the pound for pound greatest in the world.
He's on the wall in there.
And Daniel Cormier, 2-time champion. Cain Velasquez champion. Luke Rockhold champion. Josh Thompson champion. So Koscheck Fitch. We built so many. So our curriculum, I didn't have to prove the curriculum.
You had
so I just
3 champions at one point.
We had multiple.
Remember, you had Cormier,
DC,
and who was the third?
Cormier, DC, and Luke. I think was at the same time.
Yeah, there was 3. I remember there.
And then right following him, it became Khabib, and there was a Khabib era.
Yeah, the Khabib.
And then when he left Islam. But the thing is so I didn't have to prove the curriculum. I just had to open the doors for everyone and create a gym that was exciting enough and different enough and crazy enough that they're like, I want to see this place. Like a tower, like with a flag on top. Who puts a who puts a flag, But it was like I conquered this place, Like
gotta get out there
in
and
my
check
mind.
the
It's
view,
like
actually,
Backdraft the movie. You remember the Backdraft the movie, and they raced up and down the tower when they were practicing. They were running the hoses up. That's what this shit's like.
And I mean, I
It's
won't
out
go
of
into
control.
details, but it was very difficult coming in here as a foreigner from Texas, like to build the.
Can we
what's
talk
our-
about that, Mike? Like, how do you come to I mean, it's hard enough to build a business for anyone in your own country.
Yeah.
How did you navigate and figure out the legalities of setting up as an LLC? What is it? A company?
It's,
Like, how
it's
do
a
you?
company, and the thing is, it's a Thai company. But the thing is, it's by failing. I mean, I failed twice.
Right.
I picked myself up and brought myself back 3 times. So failed twice and came back third time and went big. There's a lot of things in Thailand that take in consideration. It's a lot different than America.
You can go missing. I know that.
So when you're building a gym like me, coming in here as a foreigner and trying to, especially the national sport, and trying to build the best and stand out, it's tough. But once you do it, you also have a lot of things better here than you can ever have in America. And my life is, I can't imagine a better life for myself post-fighting than having this gym here and living in this amongst these people and this culture and this environment. This is a dream for me. Like it's every day is. And now the gym is amazing, and Wiz Khalifa was just here. Steve Aoki was just here. OT Genesis was here. Central C.
Dan Belzerian.
Celebrity Dan Belzerian's here all the time and doing free diving with me. So it's starting to really take hype, and all the celebrities are coming, and not only them, but just the interesting people in general that want to come and train fighting always have great stories. So I rush to work on Monday morning. I'm not one of those dreadful, Monday's coming up. I hate Sundays. I'm here sometimes, swimming and training, but it's like I hate Sundays because I want Monday to start. I want to get back to this gym and meet these people, and they're all different stories. You go to a fight gym and you're going to hear from 20 different people how they're all going to be in the UFC. And you have to hear all their stories about how they're different than everybody else. Or they're going to ask you about your career the whole time. Here, you just meet so many great people from all different walks. So I've already done the fight thing, and I don't have nothing to prove. Some people think I traded on fighters because I built a gym for everyone, but it's like, go have 15 fights in the UFC. Go build a gym like this, and do it while beating stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
Then you can come talk to me about do it. I've paid my price. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do whatever I want, and I'm going to do that, and that's how I'm going to live. And this is a place where I can. So I'm enjoying watching all the people that we have achieve their successes, not just from fights, not just from UFCs or fighting and Muay Thai or whatever, but from their personal gains, from getting away, from happiness. I sell happiness here. When they come here,
that's what
as
you
saw
sell,
probably
man.
earlier with these girls and stuff, they're happy. This is it's
Sell
like a
good
drug.
vibes, man.
Yeah,
Sell good
I'm just
fucking
increasing the drug's power. And when people go home, they're kind of like, they get home and like, okay, that was cool, and they want to tell the stories and show the pictures, and then slowly over time they're watching the Instagram.
Well, Pete was like, you don't have to go anywhere.
They're getting that craving again for that drug, that happiness. They want to come back to that place where they can come on site and hang out with all these like-minded, cohesive people and be like, wow, this is a cool experience. Everybody's so happy. They're friendly. There's no egos.
They leave it at the door, right? Because when you walk through, and that's what we've noticed. No one knows where you're from, what you do. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They don't have to leave anything at the door. They just come in. They're professional. They're
all just in your
all
sweat
just regular
gear.
people. They're just
absolutely.
proud to be here.
Yeah.
So Mike, as far as getting it out there, is word of mouth a big thing for you? Like you said,
It's everything. I don't do any marketing.
That's
we're great at marketing as far as like social media. That's my number one thing. I have a team of 4 guys now here, 2 offsite. So I got 6 people in my marketing. So we do, if you see our Instagram, a huge amount of marketing, probably one of the most of any gym. But it's all self-marketing. I don't pay for marketing. I don't boost. I don't place ads. I don't.
And you'd have a lot of
celebrities.
user-generated content, right?
Yeah,
because
so everything
that would have to be key because the users that come in.
We only share stories from people here because we don't want to tell people our gym is good. We want the people here to tell their story.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of these gyms. I noticed that over at Apollo as well. Like that's the catch, isn't it?
That's where I started since the beginning.
All the user-generated content.
All the other gyms were
they
posting
tell them.
all this stuff like I'm the best and we're doing this.
And that's why the trees are
I
important.
wanted to start just posting everyone else, and that's it. And so for 10 years, that's all we've been doing. And now it's catching on. At least something I'm doing is catching on with these guys. I hope more people do catch on to this concept because like it'll just open more doors and create more people opportunities. So I don't mind competition at all.
Yeah, brings more people to the aisles.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with with it. But right now, no one's copying this idea, and I think most people don't really know what I'm doing. I'm doing
you
so
have to
many
come
things
out here
behind
to
the
it, but you have to
scenes.
come out. Here's the thing, Mike, because there's AKA obviously over in America, right?
Fight gym, yeah.
Yeah, fight gym. But you have to come here. You can't. It's impossible. Pitches can't do this justice, man.
Yeah.
It just can't.
But it's different when you come on site.
Because I think you said it right. On the street, you're breathing the fumes and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
You can't sell. You can't
smells
bottle.
different out here,
Yeah,
man, I
you know
can
what I mean.
promise
And
you.
you can't put that on Instagram. The smell and the feel.
I even
man.
offset the parking lot, if you can tell.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
here.
you
So
can.
You can't even see your own car when you
can't
park.
see your car.
I don't want you to
It's
see
down
nothing
out the way. Pete
but
said.
natural Thailand.
You
when
could
you're
come
training.
here and not leave for a week.
Right.
man.
That's what I try to do. We have a restaurant. We have the pool
Yeah.
cafe now, bar. We have the tower for exercise. We have
The
everything.
basketball court.
Wi-Fi and lounge areas and we have everything. So yeah, these customers pay a lot of money to come here. We offer a lot of stuff for them. I want to give them what their money's worth and more. And if they fly around the world to come here to Thailand to train, like I did for years and years and years, the one disappointment I got was when I stepped into the gym or whatever. It was in like a parking lot, or it was like in a hotel lobby, or it was in like a, it was beside the road, and I was just like, "Where's the kickboxer?" With Van Damme and like the meat tied to his leg, the dog chasing him. I'm like, I came to Thailand, not to next door to my house. Why did I fly 24 hours? So I wanted to create the gym that's you come to, you spend your time and your money, and you're gonna have happiness in a place that looks like Thailand, and it feels like Thailand, and I think we accomplished
Actually,
that.
the pictures, mate. Your joint actually looks like the pictures. That's the thing, mate. I've seen a few parts of Thailand that don't look like the pictures.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Mike, can we talk about, like we talk, love a struggle and that sort of stuff, but, you were hit with a health crisis,
Yep.
cancer during this. Like, can you talk us through that? Because this is a momentous achievement where you've got these two now, and then you get hit with that during the journey.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through
Yeah,
that?
that was shocking.
And you worked every day. Correct me if I'm
Didn't
wrong.
miss a day
Yeah,
at
you
work. I
worked-
haven't missed a day at work in 13 years. Like I've traveled the world and I have fun and I don't consider it work, but I answer my phone. I don't even use the computer very much. I have my systems built and managers managing my systems, and I usually use my cell phone for everything: emails, text, directing everyone, group chats, everything like that. So I can't remember a day in 13 years I haven't looked at my phone and answered an email or a text, or at least checked on the how everything's going. But in 2001 I got hit with it was when I started really getting successful here and enjoying my life and realizing that this is what I wanted. This I did it. I did what everybody said I couldn't do, and I did it to a level that was better than what they expected and I expected, and I was enjoying life. And then I took the COVID vaccine, and I don't know if they're going to cancel your podcast for that. I took a vaccine, and 24 hours later, all my lymph nodes swelled up in my neck, and I was just like, and it was a side effect of the vaccine. So I was just like, okay, so maybe it's a side effect, no big deal. I felt fine. I mean, I didn't feel like I was probably the best shape I've ever been at 42.
Weird shit
But
going
I had
on.
all this shit on my neck,
Yeah.
right? And then after 2 months, I'm like, okay, the side effects should be gone by now. And we started getting testing for everything, all the autoimmune diseases and stuff, all the different stuff like that. And I passed everything, even a small biopsy. And then they finally, like 3 months later, so here it is now, I'm going for 3 months now with this thing going. They finally diagnosed me with like lymphoblastic lymphoma stage 4 and gave me like potentially a year to live. And I'm like, really? I have no cancer in my family. I've been healthy my whole life. I'm an athlete. I'm still at 42. I'm doing good. What's the deal? How did I get cancer? But I was very confident, and I knew the people that followed me in building the gym, I had to be an inspiration to them. So I didn't want to hide. I knew Rumble had, he died from the same thing I had, and he was secret about it, and I respect that. But he didn't know. I mean, I don't know how long it took for him to find out exactly what he had in his whole story.
or help it down.
But for me, it's like I'd rather just face this head on, and then also treat it my way, and kind of like I don't listen to everyone, as you can tell.
We're getting that,
Getting
Mike.
that vibe,
Yeah. So the cancer doctors are like, I'm like, what is it based on? What this whole year thing you're giving me? It's how much cancer the chemos can kill, or the chemo can kill, and that's based on all ages and everything else. And I'm like, well, if I can weaken the cancer, then the chemo would kill more, thus extending my life, if not possibly getting rid of it, right? And they're like, yeah, of course, but there's no way we can predict that right now. I mean, we don't know, what's going to happen until the chemo sets in. I'm like, but we can make the cancer weak. So what if I just eat foods? I cut my diet down, and I eat foods that only the good cells eat and not the cancer cells. And he's like, well, you can do that, but the problem is cancer will find a way to eat. So, even if you eat the natural sugars and the vegetarian diet and all that stuff, it will find a way to eat. I said, well, what if I starved? I'm like, if I was to starve to death, would I die first or would the cancer die? That's the big question.
That's a question.
I said, that's the question.
Deep.
And then he said, well, theoretically, the cancer would die before the good cells in you. I said, well, okay.
Hello.
And from that moment, I knew I was going to smash it. Because I could push myself to the limit.
Man, you're
I'm
a
fighter,
fucking warrior, dude.
I'm the savage dude in the world. So from that moment, I knew I was going to. So I went on Twitter and I showed like the black from the PET scan and the cancer. And I said, I'm going to go public with this, guys. I'm like, going to let you guys know and let you guys watch me beat this bullshit cancer's ass. That's what I said. And then I told the doctors, I was like, I'm going to wait 2 weeks to start my chemo and stuff. So I started doing research on holistically, medically, all this kind of stuff. And the doctors, I told them at first I was going to starve. Doctors didn't like it. They were really against it. They said I can't handle chemo if I'm weak. So I just tuned them out and I said, just make the chemo strong. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm going to go talk to my family.
You are out of control.
So then I went and then I took 2 weeks off and I just didn't eat. So I just stood by myself in my room, didn't tell anybody, just didn't eat, starved myself. I lost.
Drinking water? You were just drinking water?
Yeah. Yep. And in 2 weeks, I lost 25 kilograms. So I lost 50 pounds. I was 151 pounds when I showed back up for chemo. And now the doctors weren't so happy with that. So
where's Mike?
Yeah, I hadn't weighed.
Appointments for Mike.
I'm 210. I'm 210 right now. And I was pretty close to that before. So I lost over 50 pounds in 2 weeks. And I was trying to burn calories and not eat and just drink water. And so I was really weak. Like it's not easy to do what I just told you. And like, especially when you're looking forward to chemo, which I had no experience with, but I'm like, and the doctors already told me if I starved myself, they didn't expect to that extent. They were thinking like 3 or 4 days would still be dangerous. And here I pushed myself almost to like that starvation. Cause I'm thinking like,
I've got one fucking crack at it, man. I'm all in.
You told me I wasn't going to cancer would die first. Let's see how far this is being pushed as cancer, right? And so I was pushing myself to the max, and I got myself to the max in 2 weeks and then came back. They freaked out, of course, said I was crazy, almost didn't do the chemo.
I was about to say,
they were going to start feeding me for a few days first and stuff, and I wouldn't let them. And then the first thing that hit me after 2 weeks of starving myself was just pure chemo poison into my stomach, and it just trashed the cancer. And so I would not.
So it went to town on the cancer.
Well, yeah, I didn't know till the first 8 days because I was just like, I don't remember much of it. I was like almost dead. Like I felt like so bad. I couldn't sleep. I was shaking. I was like, because between the cancer and the starving and like the no food and all that, it's real acidic. It's like it's poison.
Yeah. You're poison.
Goes into your bicep.
It's the most fucking lethal poison on the planet. They're giving you
7 hours straight.
So
7 hours of poison going into your main artery, your bicep, right into your heart.
Yeah, drip it in.
And no food, and then it sits in your stomach, right? And so then your stomach hasn't had food for 2 weeks, so it doesn't know what to do with it. So you're just eating your stomach alive, right? So now the pains in my stomach are so bad. I'm on like morphine to sleep and like to get by, and the doctors are they're freaking out to eat. So I had to make it not to get them too upset. I had to start eating between the chemos because the first month you do chemo and then off day, chemo, off day, chemo, off day. So I started eating vegetarian diet only. I refused to eat meat. I refused to eat anything that could even remotely feed the cancer. Yeah. And so I was eating just like vegetarian diet, and they're wheeling in scales to weigh me every day and like all this. They're panicking, right? And then like 8 days, literally 8 days in, there wasn't a single lymph node swollen on my neck. I had no fever. I had no symptom whatsoever on the book, like as far as having cancer. And then they're bringing in doctors to look at me like they can't believe that it's gone, right? Cool. But it just the chemo just shredded the cancer out. And then by the time the month was over, they said that they estimated I killed 95% of my cancer.
Just by.
And it was still tough because I'm finding out the progress. So after 8 days, the swelling's gone. So I know I'm winning.
Yeah.
So even though I know I'm winning and it's getting easier because I'm eating more, because then I stopped fasting after the first week or the 8 days, right? Every other day. Now I'm eating every day, but it's still vegetarian. It's not what I'm used to, and first time ever doing vegetarian diet. And so I wasn't gaining much because there's not much protein, and then I'm eating, And so I knew I was winning the battle, but like then my hair starts falling out. I'm skinny. I feel like shit. So when I'm looking in the mirror, it's like none of it's from cancer. It's from me starving, from the chemo, and from the diet and all this kind of stuff. But still, when you see it, psychologically,
you think it's the cancer.
Every day you're just stuck in this room, and every time you see yourself, you look like a different person. You're just it was just tormenting. And then that last week, I had my girlfriend at the time, and she got COVID, which could kill me, obviously. Yeah. So they wouldn't let her in the hospital. She came to the hospital to come see me because she was going back and forth to bring stuff back to me, and she came back with COVID. And they had to test her. Luckily, they tested her before she got in the room, or I would have been dead for sure. Because the chemo kills all your white blood cells. Yeah. And so then I had to spend the last week of the hospital after 3 weeks of all this hell by myself in the hospital. And so then I'm just looking in the mirror each morning and at night, I'm just like, I'm feeling like I'm going to die. Like, 'cause then I look so bad. I feel so bad. But theoretically, I'm the healthiest. At that point, I didn't know, but I had killed 95% of the cancer. I was just a shell of myself of good cells trying to recoup and like get recovered.
Any time through that period, Mike, that you thought you were probably going to die?
The whole time.
Yeah.
So so it wasn't necessarily even just ongoing belief.
Being silly, but even starving myself wasn't great. I didn't think I was going to die, but I was like, I didn't know. I was going to have like some organ shutdowns or something. Like I started feeling like I was going to like have some major problems, and then I could have made a big mistake doing this. And when chemo hits, it's going to potentially kill me then, because I know the doctors didn't expect 2 weeks and they were still scared. So I was like, I really hope I'm right. But every which way I dissected it, it made sense to me. And I would rather go on my own terms than the doctor's terms. So I was like, if this doctor cared about me so much and he was just so much trying to help me, he would be in Africa saving children or helping the poor here or America. Yeah, he would be doing charity work. He wouldn't be going to school for 10 years and making all that money. He's there for money. I'm just a number to him. So that's where I put him. I'm not going to listen to him like he's some saint.
Yeah.
You make the medicine to poison my body. I'll do the rest, and we're going to beat this thing. Is my logic and what I hoped, and I went all in. I shoved all in, and I beat it.
That question you asked at the start, though, what made you ask that, man?
Because I was willing to I didn't want to. I was going to die anyway. Potentially.
So you've been told you're going to die.
So if I could almost die and kill the cancer and save my life, I'll do it. I didn't want to. Nobody wants to. Yeah. But I'll do what it takes. I'm a fighter, so I'm savage. I'll do what it takes to win. And the good thing is I knew like right now it wasn't like I had a car accident or I got shot up, and I did a lot of overseas tours to support the troops, 20 overseas tours during Iraq 2 times, Afghanistan 2 times to support the troops during our UFC career. I don't support the war, but I supported the troops. Yeah. So I'd go visit the troops on the bases, 20 different tours I did, and I got to see them and seeing how they were. It's like I was always blessed from the beginning when I knew I had a fight. I'm like, there's so many people that just go black, that's it. They have a car accident, they die, they get shot, or they're fighting for just to have their life back with no legs or a missing arm. And I knew if I did win this fight, I could be here today talking to you guys 2 years later with everything normal and back to my normal size. So there was nothing going to stop me from fighting my heart out. And it took a little piece of all my life experience with those guys I saw fighting in Iraq that didn't come home and that I saw in the hospitals that were missing arms, and I was giving them gifts and stuff. And I had to dig deep and think about those guys, and they really got me some inspiration to and suck it up and fucking fight. It's time to go. Sometimes you got to earn your life. This is your time. You build your dreams. If you win this thing, you get to go back to a dream life. Don't fucking give up now. You know what I'm saying? This is the biggest fight of your life.
Talk about extraordinary stories. So it's fucking hard to wrap your head around that you were consciously making decisions like that. Do you know what I mean? You were rolling the dice.
And I'm all in on everything. And that's the only reason I've been here and have what I have is because anyone I've ever went against or anything I've ever done, I always it's always my life's on the line.
I'm willing to die for everything.
I'm willing to die for every single decision I make. And so no one that I've met has been able to wage that.
Yeah,
they have their limits, and I'm a poker player. I was sponsored by Full Tilt Poker. I play in the World Series and all that stuff. So I'm used to going all in, and I do the same thing in life. It's I go all in, and people can't wage that. And if they can't, I win every time.
Yeah,
because I'm willing to go that distance.
And cancer.
And that weighs.
Willing to do what others can't or aren't prepared to. Yeah,
but I didn't realize I knew I was doing something a little different than everybody else, of course, because I'm a little crazy. I'm really crazy, right? I'm borderline. You can. My brain works really fast, and I can stack things and layer things, and it has its benefits. But then one day you just go a little overboard, and then you end up in a hospital. So that's going to happen eventually. So I know that's coming. But like for people that I did, and I knew I was being crazy when I fought cancer. I knew it was going to be like different than everyone else. And I was going to push harder. I'm a fighter and I'm a little crazy, but I didn't realize how not savage people were until after, and people started messaging me, and I got all these messages from people with cancer, and it was just all these messages of like, man, how did you beat cancer so fast? Like, please help me. I helped so many people, and I try to answer every message and everything. But they're like,
everyone's in hospital starving themselves.
No. But they're messaging me, and they're just like, oh, and they have like tumors, like big tumor, and all this stuff. And they're just like, man, how did you beat cancer so fast? And how did you, get over it? They want me to do chemo, and I just don't want to do chemo. What else options do I have? And I'm just like, what? You don't want to do chemo? Yeah. Like the people are, they're programmed to be so weak from a young age, like systematically in school, you're programmed. You're programmed to follow everyone and win or lose, pass or fail. There's so many ways to win or lose, and losing is winning. You can't win unless you lost. Right. You don't learn that in school, right? Fuck school. And then win, lose, pass, fail. There's so many different variations, but in school you're brought up thinking that, and you're also brought up thinking of authority, like your teachers and stuff. You have to listen to them about everything. But they're regular people. So these people listen to their doctors, they get scared, and then they're just terrified, and they're trying to find, they think I took some easy route, like I just had some easy road that I went on.
What was the secret? Yeah, what was the secret, Mike?
I told him, you need to savage up and fight. Like, do you want to live or not? Like, I'm gonna be straight up with you. Sometimes you need to earn your place in this life. And fight. And if you don't survive and you don't make it, you at least gave it your all, because you're lucky to be messaging me right now, because you could have had a car accident. You could have been shot. So you messaging me right now, I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for you to a point where I'm going to not be honest. Fucking fight. Do some research. I'm not going to give you advice. Everyone's different, but do research. Check out fasting. Check out ways you can possibly wound cancer and hurt cancer, and then obviously get a good doctor that knows how to mix the chemo and the Lunase and all that, and make your decision and stick to it, but give it your all. Like, and this is what I did. I did a podcast explaining it, and if you want to go my way, you can. And I might still, I beat it twice, because the first time I beat it, I was supposed to do one more session of chemo to kill because I passed the test, but I didn't. They wanted to kill like the micro cells. Or that's what usually comes back over time. Yep. And I'm free diving with Dan, so I'm blaming Dan on this one. Dan, I'm blaming you on this, because I'm free diving, having a great time. I feel great, except I'm weak. Because I remember jumping off the boat one time, I was free diving, and my legs gave out, and I just fell right into the bank. But so I didn't go back and do that the first time, and they did sprout back. So I had to go back and clear out again, and then do the follow-ups. So I did beat it twice.
Did you have to fast the second time? Did you fast?
I fasted forever, but after the first month, you just do a week at a time.
Gotcha. Yep.
And so I just had to do a week at a time. So I'd fast 3 days, 72 hours before every session. So I did the same thing, but just less time.
Like out for yourself, listening to authority, and anyway, I agree, man. So many people.
Well, what is authority?
Just ask the question. You just said it. Authority is just another regular person.
Yeah. Who is authority? Who's the boss of your life?
Yeah.
If you're not the boss of your own life, what the fuck are you doing? You're the boss. That means you're not the boss of your life, and so someone else is using you to be helping them be the boss of their life.
Right. And you can always back personal interest. Everyone's got their own interest.
Be your own boss of your life, whatever it is that you're doing, and don't listen to this authority thing, because most of these things that you consider authority is what's programmed in your head to follow. And how's everyone else doing? Like, they're complaining and bitching and leaving comments and doing, they're not happy. So don't be like those guys. You never hear the successful people complaining and leaving bad comments on the internet to other people and trying to bring them down. Yeah. If anything, they're trying to help people get to where they're at. You know what I'm saying? So, just.
So when did you get the all clear, Mike? After the 2 times?
Believe it or not, because I took so long, and then I did some more, and like. I was being kind of stupid because I was having so much fun, and like I knew I was so far ahead, so I wasn't doing the chemo as much as I should.
You're taking the piss in the end.
I'll be honest.
I'll let you know when
if I die
for a zap.
If I die of cancer, okay, guys. Somehow in the future, it's like I was a little stupidity you can add a little bit in there, but I did. I was trying to take it serious, but I had to build this, and this was important. And to me, it was like if I was going to die of cancer, I had to get my flag up, so I had to build the tower.
You wanted to finish your flag. Yeah, man.
I wanted to see my flag before I die, right? So that had to be 100%.
Looking at it now,
I couldn't just build a flagpole. I don't do anything, just
that's not
what it is. So it turned into a whole staircase obstacle.
We'll get Bonnie. Bonnie will do some B-roll and get it all in.
Yeah, circuit, whatever. So one of a kind thing. So yeah, I had to build that, and I had to build this whole thing. And from concept, from idea to completion was 126 days. So I had to do that without doing the chemo as well, because I was working like 24/7 around the clock, because it was like designed to being here. I was up till 3 a.m. with the painter and under the canvas and under the plastic tarp on the pool, because we were hiding that. The whole painting was the surprise.
Because you painted the pool, that's right.
And he was going through Ramadan, not eating all day. And we had air conditioners all in there, working till 3 or 4 in the morning, painting everything. And it was all my designs from AI, like artificial intelligence, on like how to do the designs and all that. So I put everything together through hundreds of photos, and then he painted it and added all his artistic ability and 3D and all that. But it took 45 days just for the painting. And so I promised everyone I was going to flip the script like all the stuff I build. And that was that they knew I was building the pool. But the flip of the script was that they know I was building a pool at my gym, but they didn't know I was building a gym in my pool at my gym.
Yeah.
So that just to say that, I spent a hell of a lot of money and a lot of time to cover that part up.
So you could get that line out. That's for context. So the pool is 9 feet deep. It's fucking incredible.
It's incredible.
And it's been hand painted inside.
1,200 square feet.
To look like a gym. So when you're under the water, you're in the gym.
We're getting in after this.
We're going in.
If you look at the detail, the posters on the wall that have the class schedules and the upcoming fights, and like all this, it's like literally all the details are like crazy.
This is a legacy, man.
Yeah, it is, man. Can I ask?
I'm just having fun.
Yeah, man.
I was surviving, thriving. I'm just showing off. To be honest.
Can I ask?
I lived, and I felt like I paid my dues, so I'm not. I don't feel guilty at all.
Every day's a bonus.
I'm just having every day
playing with the house's money.
I'm playing with the house's money. My money's in my pocket. I'm fucking just having fun, throwing chips on the roulette wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't give a shit where that ball goes. I'll just get some more. I'm having fun, and it's so good to see everybody else have fun, because it's like when you have these crazy ideas, it's like I want to keep doing these ideas, but it's like if they don't work, it's going to be.
Well, there's a financial, there's a business aspect
and
to
also
all this,
it's like I want it to work. I want these. You want your ideas to work, right? Egotistically, you want like to build something that hasn't been built and people to like it, because that this circuit that we're doing right here, I've used to get myself back in shape where I'm at right now. At 45 years old, I'm in great shape, 210 pounds. And the circuit that I built to make myself in shape was hand built out of my head. I'm not using anything.
Yeah, you didn't copy anything. You've gone, right, we want the stairs. We're going to put a flag halfway up. We're going to have
I'm not using any equipment that was made at forever. Like everything I'm using, I built myself, and I'm using only that and the pool, and I'm getting back in shape from that. So to me, that's like really cool that I can do that at a time like this.
Do you live on site, Mike?
Almost. No. I have a villa right up there, and I can keep eyes on it. But
so you're out on the balcony. Oh, she's left early.
No. But I'm having fun now. I'm not trying to be like cocky about it. I feel like I paid my price, and it's like I've earned the fact that the people like it and they're enjoying what I'm building. It just lets me build more and not have that stress of like, are they going to like it or not? They like enough of it. If whatever I build now, whether they like it or not, it doesn't matter, because they like enough. Yeah. And if they like it, it's just a bonus. So I'm enjoying, like the other day we posted a video of the tower workout. It's one of my stories actually right now. And it's just amazing. It's like 30, 40, actually like 40 people, I think.
I've seen one before.
And the whole tower's full and the whole thing's full. And it's just like, I'm just like, wow, man, this is just an idea.
This crazy
just an idea to use. It's a basketball court turned into a training area, and a tower that's never been built, and a pool. And it's just loaded with people having fun, all the smiles on their faces, and they're enjoying it. They're taking pictures, they're posting it. So I'm just like, wow, it really makes me feel good. And I love talking to the guests, and it's just, like I said, it's the best post-fight job I could possibly have.
Can I ask, Mike, going back to how this all came about, AKA Thailand? So you've got AKA the fight gym over in the States. So were you originally part of that? So you were obviously fighting. It's Javier
my whole
Mendez.
career. I was the co-founder of AKA, like the AKA acronym.
Okay,
it was American Kickboxing.
Exactly. That's what.
And that was Javier
Mendez. Yeah.
And he brought on Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson kind of started the MMA part of his gym.
Right. Yep.
Then there was Frank Shamrock.
Yep. Frank.
Then it was Team Shamrock. And then I tried out for Team Shamrock at American Kickboxing Academy.
Right.
And so then I made it. And I couldn't afford to go, so it's a weird story, but I worked in Russia for the State Department for a year. It's a whole other podcast. So I worked in Russia for a year, saved up money, and then went to join Team Shamrock. We had a falling out. He left. And then it was like just a bunch of us, like, we could have went with them, but for whatever reason, we chose not to. And it was me and Thompson and Paul Bonatello and Trevor Prangley. And
you stayed with Javier.
And we all were just like sitting around, and we stayed with Hoff and Bob Cook. And we were just like, what the hell do we call ourselves? We lost our 5-time UFC champ. Like, we're just nothing now. Yeah, we had never fought in UFC or nothing at that time. And we're just like, let's call it AKA. And so we did it. And then all of a sudden we just kept training and fighting, and then everybody started coming, Fitch and Koshik and Luke and DC and Kane and everybody just stared coming in.
Big story's a crazy one.
And we just grew and grew and grew, and then the AK team AK just was born, and then it was just success after success from everyone, from all different levels.
So as soon as you were thinking Thailand, you're like, well, I'm just taking.
Well, yeah, because
AKA.
so I was building a gym in Thailand because I've always been coming here and I wanted to do this. And Hob always said, since you're a co-founder of the thing, like you did with Koshik as well, you can have the legalities as far as like your own name of the gym. So like AK whatever, and I'll give you that because you're a co-founder or whatever, and or a co-starter, whatever. I don't consider myself a co-founder. Hob is the man,
he's a legend, Javier Mendez.
I was just there when we started the team. And Koshik did it, and it didn't, he didn't give it. Long story, but I didn't feel like Hob was respected so much in that situation. So I was real hesitant, honestly, of calling this AKA Thailand. Because technically what
it's
it
American
means,
Kickboxing Academy Thailand. Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
But no one thinks of it like that, I don't. Well, I don't.
Because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Synonymous. It's just it was.
It changed. It changed. We're just AK now.
Yeah.
So it's really not the same. But theoretically, it was like I kind of wanted my own thing, but then Hob gave me the full rights to AK Thailand, 100% for myself. And then I gave him in return ownership of the gym as well, part ownership of the gym, out of respect.
So Hob's part, awesome, man.
I couldn't not do that.
How good was it to see Hob and Khabib back together coaching Islam, man? That was fucking cool to see, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never thought for a while they didn't think you'd ever see Khabib back, coaching and shit. But
no, he's been coaching. They've been in Dubai a lot, and Khabib just loves coaching. Yeah. He loves coaching. He loves seeing his guys win, and to those guys, you can't really relate our lives kind of to them. Like they just love coaching, and they live and breathe it. Like for me, it's like I wanted to move on. Like I never set out to be a fighter. I had my reasons, and I fought hard and strong, and had my short tenure in the UFC for a reason, for this. But I was never like. It was never like I really wanted to go fight people.
I'm going to be a world champion.
To look at me, you would think I was just a crazy savage guy. I'm a savage person, but I never meant to be savage by beating people up in a cage. It wasn't like my lifelong goal as a kid, But that's the route I needed to go to accomplish the things I needed to accomplish later, because everybody respects people in circles of like your tough guy communities and situations in business and stuff. You always respect the guy that fought in the cage and fought his ass off.
Could bash you.
So I knew I could get in circles I could never get in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being a singer, or an actor,
And was that the reason, Mike? Like this was the big dream, but you knew that if I could, rock and roll in UFC,
I just knew that
dream might come together.
I just knew I could get in a lot more circles in business from fighting, from an inner respect, from just alpha mankind, than being a singer or an actor or something like that. Because everyone can relate, especially in Thailand where it's a rough society. Everyone can relate and respect a man who gets in a cage and savagely fights and puts his ass on the line every single time. So I had to do that, in my opinion at least, to be able to later get into circles with pretty much any guy, whether they're not alpha or not, they're going to respect that guy that fought.
They're going to go, This is Mike fucking
So
Quick.
I felt like that was a much better alternative or way to come up than any other way. And I didn't, and I enjoyed the fame for a little bit. Everyone enjoys a little bit of it, but I want it to end. I don't want to be famous. I didn't chase the fame. So I wanted that to end. To me, true success is happiness and freedom.
Well, I think one thing is this a fair assumption though? Most fighters, and even successful fighters, like you said, once they finish their career, the fame will sort of dissipate. Unfortunately or fortunately, a bit of both, but man, you're part of tough season 1, and there's a handful of you guys that were part of that are just folklore. So like you're never not going to be famous, do you know what I mean? You're always going to be.
But I can go to
that
Italy or Paris, and nobody bothers me.
True.
And it's like if I'm in Phuket, it's different. But like outside of this island or Thailand or whatever, I can go and it's just like I'm free, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, people try to be famous their whole lives, and they work so hard to be an actor or a singer. And then most of them fall off, and then it's embarrassing almost to walk around because they fell off. And then the few that make it and can withstand, like your DiCaprios and your Pitts and your Pacinos, then you just live in your house your whole life. You can't go anywhere. Or just you have to have an entourage with so many people to do anything, right?
That sucks.
My life is like, I don't like schedules. If I want to go to Bali in a week, I want to just go. Or maybe tomorrow. Like I can do whatever. I don't answer to anybody. I have no boss. I don't owe anybody. I just want to just live my life and have no schedules and enjoy it. And work every day, but it's not work, it's passion. Because what I do as far as what I do here is just it's the important part, but it's the fun part. I don't do, I'm not sitting there doing spreadsheets all day. I have business guys do all my
people
work.
doing all that. So
I read them, I read my reports
at,
and all that, and that's it. Man. But I'm not sitting there calling Apple to make sure we're registered in the App Store and everything's up to par, or the logistics of the taxes.
You're painting the art, the dream, and then
I'm a visionary.
Yeah.
And I got my canvas here, and now I'm able to just sit and enjoy it and just keep building and.
I want to ask Mike something that you said earlier, which stood out to me. Your relationship, or the way that you think about losing. Like, where do you think that comes from? Where you're adamant, losing is part of winning. A lot of people don't make that connection. Is that from, do you remember your first loss, I guess in the UFC, or your first big loss, which we were talking about earlier? Do you remember how you felt, and did that change? Did you already know that before you had those big losses, or were those big losses what taught you that, I needed to have those. I needed those 2 losses to go on this 5-fight winning streak to put myself against potentially Anderson Silva. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. So my father passed, has definitely dedicate this to him. But the one thing he taught me was, you can break everything down, and everything that's a yes or a pass can be a no or a fail, or vice versa. So, in other words, if you have a no or a fail in front of you and that's blocking you, you can turn that into a yes or a pass or win, right? And so, I refuse to lose. So if I lose, I'll dissect it however long it takes to figure out how I won. And then I'll convince you I won. Or I'll just tell you I won, and you just have to take it. One of the two. So, but you can really do that, right? And when you really break things down, everything you lose in life is how you win. Because when you lose, you get the answers you need. So to be a failure in life, you have to fail and then quit.
Stop.
And I'm not going to quit. So if you fail and you come back, just like with poker, Phil Hellmuth, how many times has he won the world championships? But how many poker tournaments has he lost?
Yeah.
Thousands. Nobody cares. I've lost 2 gyms. Nobody cares. I kept coming back. Had I walked away, I failed 2 gyms.
They don't go Mike Swick, the 2-time losing. Yeah, that's right.
So I never walked away from anything. So I can say that I've been successful at everything I've went for, but I can also say that I've been a failure at everything I've went for. I've always failed my way to success because I haven't quit. And I learned at a young age that so when I lost and got in the Ultimate Fighter in the UFC, my energy just improved. It never hit me like I lost. I never lost. I just had to come back and show people that I didn't lose. Yeah. And show people that, hey, you know what? That's not me. I learned from that. And if you can do that, and some people can't. Some people can't handle that. They don't think that far into it. And when they lose or they fell, they're like, oh, I guess this is the end.
That was a bit hard, yeah.
And that's where they turn and walk away.
Yep.
This is where I get started. That's where my motivation comes in. That's where the fire gets lit. And I'm like, now I'm about to show you. So yeah, I refuse to lose. I refuse to be told no. I refuse to have borders and have people tell me what to do.
I love how you said, that was something else I picked up on you said earlier. You said, I don't believe in borders.
No.
That, I think that's a huge one, because for me, I think I've been and you too, PK, right? We're so conditioned into borders, man. You know what I mean? Even us,
in Australia, man.
Wrapped in water. So yeah, I think that's a huge one for people at home to go and live your dreams, man, and remove the borders. Because you don't have to live your dream in your backyard where you are now. There's a big world out there, and the world's a small place now, and you can go out.
People see themselves as American or Australian or whatever, and America's a company. It's just got the monopoly on war, the same as every other country. That's all it is. It's a business, right? But it's got the monopoly on war. You got to follow it. It's got the police. It's got the military. It's not a good one. Hopefully, it's going to be better with Trump. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. They make mistakes. and COVID being one, whatever that virus. Beep. So it's just a business, and so people consider themselves American or Australian or whatever, but you lose sight of the fact that like you're just born on Earth. You're a person to this earth.
And it's just earth.
That's essentially where you start.
Fuck yeah.
Right? Everything that happens to you from birth is what programs you that you're this or you're part of that or you're this. But other than that, I see myself as just no different than anyone else that was born on this earth. This is my earth just like anyone else's. So if I want to go to Thailand and build my life because that's where I see I can do it because I can't do it in America or I can't do it in Europe, I'm going to go. And no one's going to tell me not to because this is my earth just like anyone else. Now, of course, there's laws and things you got to follow. And you got to, pertain to that. But aside from that, I don't see myself as being controlled by any body of like restrictions.
Government body or anything.
Unless it's like illegal or something like that. It's like I'm free. I'm born here just like anyone else. And I don't see anyone else that was born to a richer family or they're a president or any kind of authority figure. They're any different than I was when we were born. And we can make the most of our lives and what I wanted in my life wasn't to be a president or wasn't to be a king or wasn't to be whatever. I wanted to have a life of freedom, live on a tropical paradise island and have what I have. And I made it come to a reality. So
You're doing it, man. You're doing it.
So, I mean, if I could do it, so can everybody else. Just follow that same mentality,
Hey, Mike, man, this has been a crazy chat. What's next? You know what I mean? What's next?
Man, I wish I could tell you.
Shut me down.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you.
Something exciting, though.
We have so much. I mean, I'll spend the rest of my life and not have enough time to finish doing everything I want to do on this piece of property right here. I mean, we're doing broadcasts. We have apps. We have the NFT project. We have, status, gold status in different tiers, and we have different memberships.
It's not just what you're doing; it's the execution.
We have so much different things, and
I'm
working on so many. I can work on so many things at one time. I've got so many things going with so many different groups. I got the digital section. I got the media department. I got the administration helping us make sure we do everything right with the visas and so we can maintain our #1 status with the government and everything like that. Then I got, our trainers, and then I have, just everything in general. I love just doing everything. Yeah.
Keeping all the balls in the air.
And I love being ahead. So as far as like where my brain is and where we're working behind the scenes, I mean, we're like closer to 2030 than we are 25. So the gyms that are trying to catch up to us, they're never going to. I mean, I hope that they try. And it's not, and I don't mean in a mean way, but I'm just saying, like, just to put in perspective, like, it's what you see is not where we're at.
Yeah, of course.
So like, I hope you can come. I hope more gyms pop up and do what we do and do different things and do their own thing. But if you're trying to know where we're at, we're far ahead of where we are.
What it appears publicly. Yeah, we say that too, don't we,
like
PK? We sort of say that as well with our bit. We've got a property business and we go, well, if they're copying that, good luck, because like that's not what we're doing right now.
Yeah, like
now,
even the
we've done that. Yeah,
if they were to copy, we'd be so far ahead by the time they got that built.
It's like old news type stuff.
It's old news, yeah. By the time you're visually seeing it, we've been working on it for 2 years.
What I'm going to do with that piece of property up here, where poolside is, this whole piece of land that poolside's on, I have more land than this there.
Is that your land over here?
Yeah, and what I plan to put there is going to change the game forever. It is the cherry on top. It is ridiculous. Like, it's going to be like, yeah.
How much land?
4 ride total, but there's more land up there than that's for
Then we're on here.
Yeah.
How big, sir?
All the way to that building is there.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So that whole area.
And then we can see the side here, and then we're just over here. So it's
if all goes as planned right now,
that is ginormous, dude.
Man,
no.
Okay.
This is. I would never have anyone stay on my property because this is like art to me, and like no one's gonna make it dirty.
Oh, so this isn't a camp like where you can
All they do is destroy them. People live on site, and they bring people through here and
like
leave their clothes out. And nobody's gonna mess this up. When this place closed, this is locked up with security. It doesn't open until the morning. I go to sleep at night, and I
knowing it's sweet. Yeah,
this is all. This is gonna
down
be
there. They scooter up,
and it's gonna be just interesting things that's never been done. Everything I'm gonna do from this point on has never been done. Most everything. And that's going to be ridiculous.
Well, the fish team, I think the fish team are going to be coming here annually, I reckon, and we'll be bringing our guys
in. We'll tee up his next fight.
Yeah.
Hey?
Man, this has been awesome.
We lit him up the other night. You would have been.
We could join our broadcast. We could join our broadcast in Bangla.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll do it, man. 2-0. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Is it kickboxing? Western boxing, though? I can't be getting kicked.
No kicks.
Look at me.
We can do whatever.
Man,
we're going to start MMA soon there as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're gonna start doing Fridays and Saturdays.
I tell you what I love. All three of my kids do jiu-jitsu. I love your jiu-jitsu room in there, man.
That's the largest indoor climate-controlled matted training environment.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Man, it's
and
epic.
it has 2 NASA technology air filtration systems inside, $5,000 each on each side that purified the air overnight. So it's like the cleanest room.
It's sick,
probably
man.
one of the cleanest rooms in Thailand.
My kids seen it and they just wanted to roll. Like I bought them here maybe a month ago. I wanted to show them, and we were in the front, and the lights were off, and then the lights went on into the room in there, and then they've just gone, "What is going on here?"
So it's 3,500 square feet, just a mats in that one, and then we have mats on the upstairs for the air dining room as well. Yeah. Another 1,500.
Mike, this is crazy, man. I think congratulations on
Thank
the
you so
journey
much.
you've been on. Well done for beating cancer. That's a crazy story of somebody that just went, this makes sense to me, and I'm going to go and do it. And you took yourself right to the edge, which is
and if I jinx myself and I die of cancer or something like that, understand one thing: I won.
Mike,
okay, so I beat cancer twice. It can only beat me once. So, worst case scenario, I'm up 2.
2-0.
I'm up 1 no matter what. Yeah. So. If it comes and gets me later, I'm still ahead.
You're still fucking winning, man.
So just for the record, I want that out there. I ain't lost to cancer. I beat that shit twice.
Man,
and never miss work.
Incredible.
Crazy,
never miss
Mike.
training.
Well, I know what I'm doing. Man. If it comes for me, I know what I'm fucking doing as well, man.
We just got the tip, didn't we?
Yeah.
I told you fasting was a thing.
He's been fasting.
Be ready. Be ready.
Yeah, not like that.
Be ready, man. It's a hell of a journey.
No, awesome, man. Well done. Congratulations.
But see, at least now,
keep doing it.
The good thing, people hear it now, they won't be as scared and nervous and like freaked out as I was, because no one did it before me, as far as starving for 2 weeks before a chemo session.
Well,
so
about to go.
I didn't know I was going to survive. Like every day I was starving myself on purpose, potentially to kill myself during chemo. So at least I know it now, and they know it works. You can do it. If you're strong and young and everything else. If you're 65, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's a great point.
This isn't medical.
Yeah.
No medical.
Do your own research.
But it feels so much better now if I have to do it again, or on a smaller level. I'm cool now. Like I went through the toughest part and I did it, so I'm much more confident. Yeah. And now all my cells with the chemo, I have all brand new cells. I'm like a baby. I have all brand new, clean, good cells.
Baby. That's
I'm like a baby. I have no bad cells in my body. Like all the cancer cells, all the broken cells are gone. I have 10 chemo sessions. Dude, I could maybe. I don't know.
Mike, honestly though, mate, we've just heard how busy you are. It's madness. Even when we got here, like we saw you walking around and you didn't know who we were, so we got to sort of see you doing your thing, and you're up, you're down, you're just moving around, man. To give us your time, man, we really do appreciate it.
No worries.
You're a superstar.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Well done, man. Congratulations.
And hopefully we'll do another one in the future. So.
Well, when we come back,
man.
we're going to come back and
sounds like there's some crazy shit going to go down here, man.
Soon. Soon.
Let's go.
Let's go. Anyone that's going to like that, please like, share, subscribe. I'm going to get in the pool. See you at the top.
You!
People want to be part of a winning team.
People can find a better version of themselves if they choose.
You just need to go start some shit.
Action is all that matters.
Be a man of your word.
I think I look back now and I'm like, whoa, that took some guts.
Be kind, be kind, be kind.
See you at the top.